Hello, everybody. Welcome to Just Trains in Concord, California. My name is Wes Andreen. I am the new owner, and we have been in business for 39 plus years. Most of the folks who've shopped with us remember Joan Saunders, the original owner. Great lady, still comes in and harasses me. Wonderful woman. And then Jim Anthony bought the store 9 years ago, and just recently I acquired the location. And when COVID hit, things kind of came to a slow crawl, but we got horrible news that our friend Kermit Paul had passed. Now, it slowed us down, but he made sure and said his buildings need to be preserved. And so that's when they reached out to Jim and myself, and that has begun the building portion that we've been doing for the last 3 years. It has been an epic journey, and unfortunately, the work is all for naught because we have unfortunately lost our lease in this current building, but Just Trains and his legacy are going to live on in our new location. God willing and the creek don't rise. We'll get there slow and steady. But we're here today so you guys can get one last look at the layout, and we can have it saved for posterity's sake. Kermit had an amazing layout in his house. He raised the house up on pier and beams, dug the basement out, and literally the whole footprint of his house, he put in an amazing layout. It was by appointment only. Quite a few of our friends got to go see it from the store. It was awesome. But if you want to see more, Lone Pine in Tonopah or Kermit Paul's Lone Pine in Tonopah, Google that or put it in YouTube. It'll come up because you'll actually get to see things like these wonderful buildings that are over here, Dumbo playing at the movie theater. There's just some amazing things. And this layout was based in the 1940s off of the Superman and Batman comic books from the original. So if you see a little Gotham in here, that's kind of what Kermit was going for. And over the years, he had folks that would come in and kit bash buildings. So a lot of these buildings are the same kit from Walther's, but they have been cut and redone. Paul knew it. Amazing gentleman. He did and painted most of these buildings for Kermit. All of these things that are in here were stuff that we were able to save off of his layout before the family had to sell the home. Now, his big pride and joy, when we get down in here, there's the bank building, and he actually had the roof gold plated. So he spent some serious money. So that's one of the big things that we're going to be taking into the new layout when we get to the new store, is we're going to try and incorporate a lot of these buildings back into a smaller footprint layout, but we'll still be able to do justice to Kermit and what he had set up in his house. We have Kermit Paul's original Union Station, kit bashed and put together, pretty epic. We have his original Greyhound Station with the Automat cafeteria, and then KPRR. Up here on the big building, Kermit had his own radio station, and we've been able to save some of the sound files. Our goal is to be able to incorporate the sound files back out into the layout. And then up here we have the Stardust Ballroom where the folks are dancing. We have our Coca-Cola building all the way at the tippy top, and the Hotel St. George. Just some of the really cool things that came out of Kermit's layout. Initially, the layout was built by Joan as a showpiece to market new buildings, and one of her fellows would come in, build it, they'd get it on the layout, and then when the new project came out, they would sell that building and put the next one in there. And we've kept up with that also for the last 30 years. So the layout is about 90 feet long. We have a dog bone style. It's 2 main lines, a couple yards, and then as we go down the track, you'll get to see the different areas that we were working on. We're going to start at Lone Pine and Tonopah Union Station. We're going to come down, and our final destination is going to be Benton, and that's going to be at the rear of the store. So keep your eyes out for all kinds of fun stuff on the track. As the train progresses towards Benton, we end up coming through our loading zone where we've got our cargo train with our well cars set up. And as we come down the main line, we're passing Atlantic Pacific Tea Company and Studebaker Autos. Quality automobiles headed to parts unknown. So as we move down, we come into the refinery area. And as you can see in the backdrop where they have taken and done layer upon layer in different shade as it's going back, gives an amazing optical illusion of depth. And I wish I knew who created it and put it up, but it is one of the best scenes we have in the layout, showing what you can do with your layout with minimal means. And now we are coming into the wharf area where our construction guys are giving our bridges a new coat of paint. And we have one of our train barges down here getting loaded up and ready to head across the bay. We also have a couple little restaurants down in here and just a fun little section of wharf area. So in this section is the rail yard, and we've expanded it over the years because we have a lot of really amazing guys that come in on Saturdays, Thursdays. They'll set up 15 to 20 locomotives. They'll have hundreds of rolling stock on the track. And it's just a community that we have nurtured here over the years. And that part of the legacy is going because the new store, unfortunately, just doesn't have the space for this epic size of a layout. We're now moving into our city section. This was a section of layout that just kind of piecemealed everything together, so excuse the confusion. But what we did get off of Kermit's is Hopper's Cafe, which is actually that very famous painting, the Nighthawk Diner. So you can see Marilyn Monroe, James Dean, all having a milkshake. And then we moved down the track. We have a section that came out of Kermit's seedy area of his layout where we have the Coco Cafe and the Madame Wong's Exotic Oriental Massage Parlor. So we'll leave you to your imagination on that one. And then we have a really amazing little Mexican taqueria. These were all kit bashed together to get some of these buildings and the look, and it's just amazing how they put it together. And we have the Lone Pine Bugle, which was the newspaper for Kermit's layout. And then we also have East Snatcham, the embalming and funeral home down here. And at the very end, we have Kermit's Ice House from Pacific Fast Fruit. We have that in here. It will get incorporated into the new layout in some shape, size, or form. And we have his water tower and the office building. So we'll get it all put in there, and it's going to look really amazing when we get it done, even if it's just a really nice static display. And now we've reached Benton. This is a prototypical lumber town, late 1800s, early 1900s. And there is all kinds of little homages to individuals that are in the shop. We have Rosita's Bakery, which is the previous owner's wife. We have the Michaela Cafe, which is an homage to my daughter. We also have Just Trains in their building, where little Jim is crawling up the top of the building to get into the top because he locked himself out. And then we come around to the station at Benton and the watering station. We've got Mickey Mouse in here, the Sting from the movie. So this section is just a really awesome little Americana downtown area. And this is the end of the dog bone on the back end. As you come around, you're going to come across two custom-built curved bridges to be able to fit into this layout. The second concrete bridge has a KP on it as honor of Kermit's birthday. Then as you round the corner to the left, you will see Kermit's Haunted Mansion. It's setting up on a big old concrete pillar. It is awesome. And once we get it finished, it will be lit. And there is a soundtrack that goes with that. So we're working to be able to get that restoration. And then as you come through the tunnel, climb up to the top, we've got a prototypical SP snow shed that came off a Donner. And one of the cool things is we actually sell that as a 3D kit. So if you ever want to have a snow shed, we'll get you covered. When you're looking at the backdrop in this section, this is a high relief portion that we done based out of pink high density foam. It has been cut and carved with just a regular sheetrock saw, and then we've done dry brushing techniques to give the cracks and crags, and dry brushing to be able to give any type of moss coloring or anything like that to give that rich texture. And this really makes an amazing technique if you want to try to build up but you don't have the space to come out. And then you come past Rogers Station, and then you head back up the dog bone, right back up to Lone Pine and Tonopah. Thanks everybody for showing up and taking a tour with us today at Just Trains. We hope to keep the legacy alive for Kermit in our new location. A lot of childhood dreams were started here and continuing to go on at our new location. We'll be at 1170 Burnett Avenue over in Concord, behind Trader Joe's. I'd like to give a shout out to some people who made this happen. The previous owner, Joan Saunders, the previous owner, Jim and Rosita. They've been amazing. We got Keith Rogers, who's our 3D printer and did most of the electrical work. And last but not least, Paul Newitt for giving us this amazing design behind us. So come see us at our new store. Thank you for being a customer, and y'all have a great day.